Hi everyone, welcome to DBA712. Here I have a video just to run you through how to go about doing your main assignment. As you'll notice on the screen here, I've opened up in Interact 2, and I'm just going to show you firstly where you can find some information about how to do the assignment. Firstly, I have some information under topics about how to do the analysis. So if you go down to here to quantitative research, click on that, and then look at quantitative data analysis. Okay, and if you click down to Introduction to SPSS, which is how we're doing the analysis, I have put up a number of videos which provide some instruction on how to go about doing the assignment, including t-tests, analysis of variance, and one that's of particular importance to this assignment, simple regression and correlation. I've also gone through in this area and discussed the two types of analysis, including tests of differences, and I've done a little video here on that, introduction to analysis, and further down, tests of association. So statistics is really about, or analysis is about, are two things different or are two things associated? I won't go into too much detail, but there are some more videos you can watch where I've gone into some of the concepts behind the analysis. So what I'm going to focus on today is just the, if you like, the operational issues then of doing your assignment. Now you find information on your assignment under resources over here, and under other resources, and you see I've made a little folder here called assignment 4. Okay, so I've put a work there are 3 files here. Assignment 4, which has the details of the assignment, the online movies data set, which is in SPSS, or I've also saved this data set in Excel. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I've already downloaded these files, so obviously you just download these to your hard drive. You will need a trial version of SPSS, and if we open up the first assignment here, I'm just going to bring this over to where we're working. Okay, and as you can see, I've provided some background information about the assignment here in this Word document, so I would print this out if I were you. But in this assignment, there is also a link of where you can download a trial version of SPSS, 14-day trial, and that will help you do the analysis. So what I'm going to show you today is how you do the analysis with SPSS, which stands for Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. Right, so that's from that link there, and these are the 2 files here, and there is some more information about the background to the assignment, which is essentially, it's a data set about the people's adoption or use of buying or purchasing movies online. Okay, so that's where you go there, and that will hopefully come up. Right, and then you just download which your particular types of system. That'll give you a 14-day trial, and that should be enough to do the assignment. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is open up and have a look at SPSS, because remember, if we look at the assignment, I've asked you to do a few things, a bit of background research to provide some descriptive analysis, and also to provide a regression analysis. So in other words, just to recap, to bring up that information, just going to open up my desktop here. Okie dokie. Where are we? As you can see, lots of files, no time. Okay, let's do my name. Alright, so here I am in the subject outline. Okay, we scroll down to our assessment items. So we're looking at, I think, the fourth assignment here. Alright, let's see how we mark that as we go down. Hopefully this doesn't hurt your eyes too much. Okay, so you can see here, include the points, obtain the relevant literature on the dependent variable. Now the dependent variable in this is basically why do people purchase online movies? So you'll need to do that. You have a set of possible independent variables which are mentioned in the data set. Discuss the methodology, and then so I've provided some background on the methodology in notes to the assignment that you would have downloaded. Then you see this is what we've asked you to do in SPSS along here. Descriptive analysis, a multiple regression, and the meaning of multiple regression, and then provide what we mean by that study. Okay? Alright, so what we're going to do now is open up SPSS and do a descriptive analysis and a multiple regression. So hopefully you would have downloaded the program by now, and you'll find it under IBM because they now own SPSS. SPSS. Okay, so we open this up. Alright, you need to say allow access because it's basically just checking on the licenses here. Okay, so as I said, I've already downloaded this. Now the name of the data set is, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll open up as you would. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just go to where I saved the file. So I'm just saying, okay, so it's asking me where to go. Okay, that's the one I want. So .save is an SPSS file, so this kind of icon. Open it up. Oh, okay. Let's get it to open up. Let's just try again. Oops. Sorry about this. Never work with children or computers. Okay. Right, I don't know why I did that before, but here's the data set here. Okay, there's two views. The variable view just shows you the name of the variable. I've gone through and labelled some of the variables along here, and you can see I've moved them along here. And so these are all the variable names along here. If we scroll down to the end of the data set, I've gone and created some variables here, and these are my possible independent variables along here. So you can see the dependent variable is things like, have you ever purchased products online? Where are we? How likely are you to purchase movies in the next year? This is probably a dependent variable, 16.1 here. So the first step here is we're going to look at, which we do with any analysis, is to say, okay, what have we got in the data set? So what I'm going to do here is just run what we call descriptive analysis for our potential independent variables, which is really anything from gender all the way down. All the analysis in SPSS is under Analyze, and there are two types. Frequencies, which we can use for what we call nominal variables. If you don't know what a nominal variable is, you'll need to read and have a look at the lectures I put up on that. And so what we're going to first do is run an analysis of frequencies for our nominal variables. The nominal variables here are these that have been I've highlighted in terms of these categories, and these ones here are ordinal. So we'll also include those as well. So just to see we get an idea of what we can see in our data set. So if you just select these variables and put them in there, that will provide you, and then you simply then click OK. You can ask for charts if you like, but let's just look at the frequency tables. So we click on OK, And there are some of our frequency data sets here. So you can see our sample here contains 64% women. Most of these people have been to have some university or an undergraduate degree. You can see most of the people are around about are 18 to 24, and their incomes are below 20,000. So one of the things you might ask yourself straight away, excuse me, is this a representative sample? Now with this data set with this output file, of course you can save it. I like to save it as I go, so I'm just going to call it results. Now, we haven't looked at the descriptives. The descriptives we can use for things which we can talk about that have an average. So what we'll do here is we'll just select all these, whoops, we'll just cancel these. And sorry, we'll go to descriptives here. And what we'll do here is we'll just take a set of variables here, which the ones with a ruler next to them means that they are descriptive. So we'll put those in there along with our independent variable, which is how likely, sorry. Okay, how likely are you to purchase something next year? Alright, now we've got various options that we can go, so you can see mean, standard deviation, range is also useful. Just because you pick the kind of variables that you might want, click continue. Range is useful because if we scored, say, something from 1 to 5 and we've got a 7 or an 8, it means we made an error. And so there's our descriptive statistics there. Okay, and again we just save as we go, and you can see this tells us something about the minimum, the maximum, the standard deviation, about some of our scores that we've developed. Okay. Now, what about in terms of regression? Well, regression we find, again, have a look at the 2 lectures I've provided you already, but we find regression here under regression, and it's just a linear regression, so it's a standard regression. So firstly, we have to pick our dependent variable, and our dependent variable, of course, as you recall, was how likely are you to purchase online movies in the next year. And we've got a set of dependent variables down here which we can select: internal role clarity, locus of control, anxiety, okay, oops, all these along here, okay. There are independent variables. If we can use a nominal variable, it's got to be coded 10. So in this case, we have a variable of gender which has been coded 10. So if we wanted to use things like age ranges or things like that, we'd have to recode them for various groups. So you might recode something as 1 for 18 to 24 and 0 for elsewise. Have a look at some of the videos I've provided there. So we're just going to include that now. So this is what we call an ordinary least squared regression. Once we've done that, we just click OK, and we get some analysis down here. Now the first thing we do is we look at whether the regression is significant. We find at this stage it's actually not terribly significant, and so actually we would reject the regression at this stage. We haven't found a lot of evidence. Our adjusted R squared, which is the amount of variance, is 0.19, which means we've explained about 19%, or 0.33 for the R squared. Now in terms of the beta coefficients, we look for any significant factors down here, and you can see here we haven't really explained the regression. The only one that seems to be significant at the 10% level. Okay, sorry, the significance factor here is what we read. It doesn't look like we've got anything that's significant at this stage in the regression, which is a shame. So this would mean that we would have to go and have a look at some other particular individual variables. So what happens here is, firstly, we look at the analysis of variance in terms of the model. So is it significant? Here we failed, the model's failed, we haven't explained enough of the variation of the scores. Then we look at the beta coefficients. A larger number means it's significant. We really haven't got, oh yes, here's one, perceived risk at the 10% level. So what this is saying is it's negative, so it's saying if people see less risk, they're more likely to buy movies online. And that's significant at the 10% level. So we can sometimes accept that. It's often what's called marginally significant. Significance levels are often what we would use at 5%. Again, if you're not sure, have a look at my video which explains that. So once you've done this, you might want to save this and then format these tables up. To format a table, you can just double click on it, and we go through and we have some various ways of formatting tables, and that's just best done, I guess, by you doing a bit of experimentation, changing the font to how you have in your report and so on. Okay, so hopefully this is useful. I'll go over this tonight, and thanks for your time and attention.